Hello everyone, today I will be making 1 through 50 scale USS Atlanta out of scratch built materials. The first step is to scale the model. I go on World of Warships ship tool where I find her size by sorting it out. I find her size is 165 meters long. So with this data, I can then calculate her size. So 165 divided by 350 and then multiplied by 100 is 47 centimeters. And with that, I'll know how the model looks. As with many of my other models, I design online and then cut it out on a Glowforge, and this is at my school. And because I'm cutting stuff out this way, they become much more detailed and much better scaled. So everything looks right, nothing's too big, nothing's too small. So here you can see the completed sketch. Then I take everything home, bundle together in these tape pieces. That's a little gun in the front you can see.
So the hull is now painted. The superstructure is. Here are the 5-inch 38 guns, and I'm cutting out the barrels for them right now.
Here, all the 5-inch 38 guns out and with their barrels installed. Here, I begin the construction of the hull. The first thing I do is I cut out these 1 centimeter strips, which are made of cardboard, for the hull edge. So I use cardboard here because cardboard can still twist a little bit, and that way I can make the angle on the hull, especially at the end where there's that curve. So here I'm fitting the cardboard on there, and now I'm getting ready to glue with my glue gun. I'm lining the stuff up on the edges, and here I'm making this 90-degree turn with the cardboard because the forward part of the hull has a slight upwards angle towards it, so I'm cutting it out in 2 separate pieces. This way I can make sure that the hull is well shaped and I don't have to cut out a weird angle piece. So now I'm installing the cardboard on the bottom of the hull. This will be the lower hull, it's the part that's painted red. So this part is still pretty similar to what I do up there. So I'll talk a bit about USS Atlanta now. So USS Atlanta is an Atlanta class light cruiser. Shocker. USS Atlanta was designed as a flotilla leader, pretty much a small cruiser or a large destroyer that leads the flotillas of other destroyers, and be large enough where an admiral can take up position and call it his flagship. Not usually an admiral, but something like a captain or commodore. These ships are often pretty similar in size to destroyers, but because of their larger capacity for space and whatnot, they could have a lot more guns. So they usually would have had more guns than the destroyers themselves. So USS Atlanta was built in 1938, and she saw service throughout World War II, especially in the early part. She got sunk mid-war.
A bit more of a commemorative thing with all the ships I make. I always put a coin of the nation that they're from in this case I'm putting a dime inside this American one. Yeah.
Alright, so let's get into a bit more of the history about USS Atlanta. I said it wrong earlier. She didn't serve throughout World War II. She got sunk near the start of American involvement. She got sunk in, I think it was 13th of October, 1942 at the Battle of Guadalcanal, the Friday the 13th battle. So right now what I'm doing here is I'm painting the upper hull, and I just marked the lower hull where I will shave the material later. This way I'll give the hull an angle. So I continue on the painting and give her the dark blue hull. So now I start to go and shave down the sides to give it the proper angle. I've sped this footage up 20 times since it's a bit boring compared to actually building anything. So USS Atlanta, her guns, she had 8 5-inch 38 guns, which are pretty cool. And also, unusually for an American cruiser, she actually has torpedoes, which is pretty cool, honestly. And yes.
Which I just painted. It's still drying over here. So this is the red hull that's gonna go on the underneath, and it's gonna be glued on soon.
I've referenced this 3D model in order to get a better scaling of the superstructure and the placement of the weapon systems. I don't use any other guides to make these models. I've said this before. So here I have the rough placement of the 5-inch 38 guns and the superstructure placed all over the ship, and the windows have also been added. So it's been scaled correctly. Next, I glued down the superstructure and then glued down the turrets. The footage here isn't the best because I recorded while having to accurately put the turrets on. So sorry that it does cut out a little bit here. So these are the forward super firing 3 5-inch 38 guns that are being installed right here. In the chain there's 2. So here's what they look like when this is the after turrets once they've been glued down. Here are the funnels and the boats. The funnels are made from hot glue sticks. Here, I'm spray painting the initial model in a gloss clear coat. This way, the model is protected, especially the paints are protected from scratches and bumps. Here is the ship with most of the details installed. However, some stuff still needs to be put on, such as the rigging. Here's the fire hoses for the damage control parties. Here are the cranes and the little boats. And so this is the completed model of the USS Atlanta CL-51 in her 1942 camouflage.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice little model. Got most of the details on there. Got the little boats and the guns, the flags, got the propellers in the bottom. And it's all laser cut, so no more cardboard is used on this one. Yeah, I'll let you get one more look at all the details on there. Alright, this concludes the video. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching and share this video.